tremendous job here, and we thank Dr Lemick in particular for hosting us here today and showing us around and meeting those for working on these incredibly important vaccines and the trials that are taking place. We welcome also Novavax as well as Pfizer, and of course it's always good to have Professor Brendan Murphy here with me, and we've appeared together on many occasions and over the course of what has been an incredibly difficult year. But today is another day when we can look forward to a much better 2021, and there are many reasons for that. As we've worked through the course of what has been such a difficult year with COVID-19, one of the reasons Australia has proved to be one of the most successful countries in the world in not just handling, of course, the health impacts of the COVID-19 pandemic, but the economic impacts as well, is as a government, and as governments all around the country, we've always sought to look for at the next challenge and how we will solve it. As a government, we have never sought to stay stuck in neutral when it comes to dealing with COVID-19. We always need to be looking ahead as to what the next challenge is and ensuring we're putting in place the mechanisms and the solutions that will enable Australians to move forward. To move forward indeed in 2020, but to move even further ahead in 2021. As we look around the world today, and particularly as we look in Europe, as we see countries locking down, in Australia, we're seeing Australia open up. In Australia, we're looking forward to 2021. And our policy and program, led by Professor Murphy, on getting Australia at the front of the pack when it comes to vaccines, which will be game changers. And as each day passes, we become more optimistic. Cautious, of course, ensuring that we are going through all the necessary processes to ensure we have both a safe vaccine and an effective vaccine. Now today we're announcing an extra $1.5 billion investment in the Novavax and the Pfizer vaccines. This adds to our overall program of over $3.5 billion that we're investing to ensure that Australians will be in the leading pack of the world as we move into the next phase of dealing with COVID-19, which is the vaccine phase. Now we're in an advanced stage of trials, particularly here, when it comes to Novavax's vaccine, as being Australia as part of those trials here, right here in Randwick, right here in Sydney, and Australian scientists, Australian researchers, Australian clinical trials, all playing an important role in the global challenge of finding and testing and trialling this vaccine. The TGA will play an absolutely essential role in assuring all Australians that the vaccines that will be made available will be safe and they will be effective. And so, as we move into 2021, a year where we are very hopeful that these vaccines will prove effective and will be able to be disseminated right across the population, we take the next steps, which is a national vaccines policy, which has already had its first pass by the Federal Cabinet recently. It will go back to Cabinet again after further consultation with the states and territories, and then will also go to the National Cabinet for confirmation, because the dissemination of any vaccine is done in partnership with the Commonwealth and the states and territories. Now, it is the Commonwealth who makes those calls on the vaccines and provides the funding and the transport and the storage and all of these things. But it is, of course, the states and territories that play a critical role in the actual administering of that vaccine across the population. So it is a very exciting day today. It's a day that Australians can take more hope. And as we move towards Christmas, and as families gather around, as borders come down, and as Australians can connect with each other again safely, and I stress safely, it's important we open safely so we can remain safely open. That they can come around as we draw to the close of this year and look forward with great positivity towards 2021. In so many parts of the world today, that won't be the case, but it will be the case here in Australia because of the way Australia has responded and dealt with this pandemic and the many facets of it.